It's always a good idea to keep track of the file size of the design that you're working on. Here I'm in layout space, looking at a concept plan, and I'd like to get some indication of its size. If I type FS, short for file size, look down in the command area. You may have to stretch the command area a little, and you see it's 3.862 megabytes in size. And that's a relatively large drawing, and I wonder if when I start working on this drawing, if it wouldn't be a good idea to go into blocks, activate the blocks command, and just see what blocks are in the drawing. Notice lots of blocks starting with A dollar, C dollar. I'm not a fan of having those. They've come, I suspect, from an AutoCAD drawing, but I digress. Let's just scroll through, and if you find any of the blocks sitting on the shelf in the drawing and the delete highlight comes up, just click it and say I want to delete all unused blocks, and you can see 29 blocks have been deleted, so we can OK that. So now when we save the drawing and reopen the drawing, we hope that the file size is somewhat less. So let's do that. File and save, and then we'll open the, we'll close this one, and I'll close that one and close this one, and then reopen that drawing we were just working on. We'll click in here and type FS again, and we're down to 1.877 kilobytes or 1.8 megabytes. So we've halved the file size. Now that's a good start. That means the drawing will operate a little more snappily in our computer environment. I'm also in the habit of diving back in here and just scrolling down through to make sure that there are no other blocks associated with this drawing that are sitting on the shelf and can be deleted. And we'll do it again. So there's it's called purge, so another 9 blocks have been removed. So we're just by some ordinary housekeeping, we can reduce the size of the file here. We're in the business of streamlining this drawing. If we pick the layers dialog box pops up, if you click on all rather than all used layers, you can see that there are a lot of layers in this drawing that aren't in use, and I can select those layers and just delete them, and I can work my way down through the list. We'll OK that and remove any layers that are not in use. We'll note that there's a layer called CAD-block.com. that comes from some free blocks that have been downloaded from the net, and do be cautious with those because they often come with baggage. Another thing I notice here is that some layers are set with a very fine line weight indeed. We like to keep line weight set it to full for as long as possible. By all means, have a thickness to a layer set 0.35 like building outline, although it is set 0.35 but there's nothing on it. So just be a little cautious with setting line weights. Our advice is to do that at the end of the job, not during the job. So we'll hit OK, and that will clean out all these layers that are not in use in this drawing. Well, let's look at dimension styles. I'll click here in dimension styles, scroll up a little, and you can see there's a very large number of dimension styles associated with this drawing. There's even one called CAD block. We can probably safely delete that and scroll further down. There's one called dimension, not with an S in it. I'm not going to touch these, but they may well be in use in the drawing. But it's not good design practice to have so many different dimension styles within the drawing. We'll leave the current dimension style set at standard. And OK. The same applies to text styles. There may well be some text styles here not in use, and there are a lot. So let's just click them and delete them. So I hope you can see the direction in which I'm going. I'm just trying to make sure that this drawing is clean and crisp and works relatively smartly. I'll simply file and save, file and close, open it up again and type SS, FS, and we're down to 1771. So I think we've got the drawing cleaned up to a reasonable extent, and hopefully performance will now be relatively snappy. If we look at format and line types, can you see that once again, if I start at the top, there's an enormous number of line types in this drawing. Many have come from the survey firm's work, but as we scroll down here, I've quite frankly never seen a list of line types associated with a drawing that's as large as this, and I would suggest that it would be good practice to remove those line types that are no longer in use with this drawing. There is a quick way to do that. Select the first of these and then just scroll all the way down until you find a line type that is indeed in use. That's going to take us a while. Here we are, and we can, holding our shift key down, we can grab all of those in one go, and that removes a whole lot of line types in one hit.